Now, in short, I will tell you the story The Midnight Visitor. So, a witty secret agent named Ozable was with a writer, Fowler, throughout the evening, as Fowler, who was a writer, was interested in spending time with a secret agent. So, a secret agent named Ozable and a writer, Fowler. They were together throughout the evening. Why? Because Fowler was interested in spending time with the secret agent. Then what happened? When Fowler spends time with Ozable, he realizes that he is exactly the opposite of what he had imagined and that he does not fit into the image of a spy. So, Fowler realizes while spending time with Ozable that Ozable is very fat. There is a whole paragraph on the physical description. So you have to learn that para. I'm repeating this again, and that is the description which does not suit the so-called image of a spy, the so-called image of an action hero. Okay, next. Ozable told Fowler that he had been thinking wrong. So, as Fowler was thinking about judging a person with the physical description, so now Ozable is telling her that you have been thinking wrong, and that soon he would be looking at a report that would change the country's future. So, Ozable is telling that you would be soon looking at a report about something about the missiles that would change the country's future. Who is telling whom? Ozable is telling Fowler. Why? Because Fowler thought that Ozable is so fat that there was no thrill here over here. So Ozable does not fit the description of a spy. Then what happens? Then Ozable takes Fowler to his room, and when they entered the room, a man with a gun named Max was standing in the room. So Ozable and Fowler enters the room as they were together throughout the evening, and when they enters the room, they see a man named Max was there with a gun standing in the room. He asks them to be comfortable until he steals the report about the missile. Max tells them to wait until Max steals the report about missiles. While they were talking, while Ozable, Fowler and Max were talking, Ozable started with a story that how a man had entered from balcony last month below his room. Now Ozable is giving the description that how a man had entered from the balcony last month into his room. There is a sudden knock at the door. Ozable said that it must be police. Max was pointing a gun at Ozable. Ozable and Fowler was there. Max was there to steal the reports of missile. Now Ozable is telling after hearing a knock at the door that it might be the police. Max pointing his gun towards Ozable and Fowler, said that he would be waiting in the balcony. Which balcony? The story about the balcony Ozable told. So Max, relying on Ozable's words, is telling Ozable that I will be waiting in the balcony and that Ozable should send away the police, otherwise he would shoot them. As the doorknob is turned, as the door opens, Max jumps out of the window and a loud scream is heard. So Max told that I will be there in the balcony, and so Max jumps out of the window and a loud scream is heard. On the basis of Ozable's word that there is a balcony, Max did this work. Which work? Of jumping out of the window from the room. Why? Because the police was there according to Ozable. So now the door opens, the waiter comes in. No police is there, but the waiter comes in. Now Ozable tells Fowler that there was no police. Ozable tells Fowler that there was no police, instead there was a waiter. And that there was no balcony either. So this whole story about police and balcony was made up by Ozable. It was Ozable's wit that he made up all these stories. So physical description, whatever Ozable is having, that is not important. Instead, the wit that Ozable is having and the wit that Ozable applied, the intelligence that Ozable applied to make Max jump out of the window to the so-called imaginative balcony, which made Max die. And instead of waiter, he told that there is a police over there. So all this is the game of the wit that Ozable played, which killed Max, and finally Max could not take those papers. So here the story is about a wit rather than any action hero. The physical description that are described of a spy or a hero, it is not anything of that sort. Instead, it is just a play of wit, just the game of wit that Oswald played, and the result is that Oswald wins and Max died.